investors. We are going to presentations. The first presentation would be the economic outlook and the fiscal outlook and strategy. We'll receive a presentation from the Superintendent General, who is the Accounting Officer of the Provincial Treasury, Ntate Israel Ndlela Kunene. From there, we would then be afforded an opportunity to reflect and make a discussion on that. And then the third presentation or second presentation would be the presentation on the October 2024 Lekgotla resolution and the Provincial Medium-Term Development Program Strategic Intervention. The Lekgotla that we held last year in October, and Tate Mawelela, who happened to be the DDG in the Office of the Premier, will take us through that. From there, we'd have a presentation on the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy by Ntate Tlaletsi. I have not seen him. Oh, he's here. I'm assured that he's here. So Ntate Tlaletsi will take us through the PGDS, and then we'll have a discussion immediately after that. Then after that presentation, after the discussion, we'll then break for lunch for about an hour. Then we'll resume at 2 to receive a presentation on local government intervention in terms of section 154. That is the support that is being provided to our municipalities by both provincial and national government departments. That presentation would be done by Dr. Bole, who happened to be the head of the Department of COGTA, and then we'll discuss and reflect on the presentation as made, and then we'll continue with the presentation and receive a presentation on the review of the Accelerated Service Delivery Program, your Tunza Lerole program, which will be done by the coordinator, Ntate Marupim, because we are trying to review that so that there is a meaningful impact in terms of the activities and the programs that we are implementing. From there, we'll have a discussion on that, and immediately after that, then the Premier would map a way forward in terms of closing remarks around 4 o'clock to 4:30, and that would be the end of our session. So this session is convened for 1 day. We have held many Makhotlas. We need to work towards the implementations of the resolutions that we continue to take. And the leadership, the minds, collective minds that is here, you must help us as to how are we going to implement this. We can't continue to take decisions, and there is many decisions that we are taking, but there is less implementation, DG. So we need to hammer on that point so that we register progress. Having said that, Premier, if you allow me, can I then call you upon the stage to officially open the session and set the scene and scan the environment for us? With your permission, Premier, over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Ntate Molapisi, Chair of the session. Members of the Executive Council present here today, executive mayors, speakers of municipalities, the chair of SALGA in the province, the Director General of the Northwest Provincial Government, heads of our different departments, heads of our state-owned entities, representatives of organized labor, representatives of the business sector, representatives of the civil society, Northwest House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders, Bagaitso Botle Dumela. Good morning. Okay. Colleagues, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this Lekgotla, which is a precursor to the State of the Province address. The latter will primarily be informed by the resolutions of the governing party Lekgotla, the State of the Nation address, as well as our deliberations from this session. However, this Lekgotla comes at a time where there are very profound developments in global and continental politics. These issues continue to shape the socio-economic discourse of the SADC region, our country, and ultimately our province. Colleagues, I want to believe that you are aware of the diplomatic position that has been taken by the United States in relation to the Land Expropriation Act that was recently signed by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, resulting in part of the USAID funding to this country be withdrawn. However, our country remains a sovereign state, and no global hegemon must try to influence its policy position on matters of redress, and in this regard, the land question. Colleagues, we meet here today after President Ramaphosa received the mortal remains of 14 members of the South African National Defence Force who were killed in the DRC whilst on a peacekeeping mission about a week ago at a ceremony held at Swartkop Air Force. One of these members is Lance Bombardier Itumele Moreo of Extension 39 in Mahikeng, who will be buried tomorrow. May his soul rest in peace. We should not relent in our commitment to advocate for a better Africa and a better world by silencing the guns in our continent as per the AU Agenda 2063 resolutions. A few days ago, the national budget speech could not go ahead as planned and has since been postponed to March. This is unprecedented since the country's democratic breakthrough, but we, however, believe that a solution will be sought in this regard. Of concern is the fact that our province shared 20,000 jobs in the fourth quarter of the labor force survey, putting expanded unemployment rate at about 52%, the highest in the country. Compounding this is the inclement weather conditions which have caused widespread damage in many parts of the province. Colleagues, I thought I should make a reflection on some of these matters as they have a bearing on our developmental trajectory as a province. The provincial government has, through this Lekgotla, brought together a broad spectrum of role players and stakeholders across both the public and private sector, as well as labor and the civil society. This is primarily aimed at finding consensus on key interventions measures that we need to develop to find solutions to a number of challenges confronting the province. In October last year, the Executive Council convened the Planning Lekgotla and formulated a set of provincial priorities aligned to the 2025-2030 Medium-Term Development Plan, MDTP priorities. The provincial priorities identified during the Lekgotla constitute the first building blocks of government program of action and will therefore guide and inform the 2025-2026 financial year planning and implementation. The Planning Lekgotla mobilized the contribution of stakeholders to collectively emerge with a roadmap towards creating jobs and delivery of services to the people of the Northwest Province. The Lekgotla will therefore primarily serve as a platform to review and refine the provincial priorities and resolutions adopted in October 2024 as part of government's program of action, and further outline priorities for the 2025 State of the Province address. It will also take note of other emerging priorities of governing party, which is the ANC. Northwest Local Government Summit will also be considered in terms of resolutions that have been taken there. And more importantly, the State of the Nation address by President Ramaphosa. The Northwest Province is faced with a myriad of socio-economic challenges, such as high level of unemployment, poverty, deteriorating economic and social infrastructure, and various social ills, all of which require a dynamic plan that will systematically address these challenges on an ongoing basis. PGDS implementation plan will be a vehicle that will outline interventions that will shape our economy and improve the socio-economic conditions of our people in the province for a better situation. This Lekgotla will further serve as a platform to reaffirm the development priorities, formulate appropriate and responsive plans, including influencing the allocation of the scarce resources towards the implementation of government key projects and programs. With these few words, Program Director, I will declare this Lekgotla officially open, and I wish you well in your deliberations. I thank you.